be going live on Facebook any second now. So let's get it. Let's get
Hey,
it.
How you
We
doing,
back.
Goddess?
I'm doing good. I missed your face. I missed your face.
I missed yours too.
Aw,
It's been a crazy 2 weeks.
it has.
It
Like I
has.
feel like I've been all over the world and back emotionally this past. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot.
What?
It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
I feel the same way. A lot happened unexpectedly, and I just had to remember to be water. That's the element that I'm leaning into, honey, and just take on the shape of whatever, and just remember that water not gonna ever stop going where you want to go, and I'm some water headed somewhere. So
Yes, I love it.
yes.
How about that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, since we're kicking it off, I'm gonna hop on here and make sure that we can see it. Why don't you go ahead and tell them who you are, and that'll give me a second to do this, and then I'll jump in too.
Okay, cool. Hey, everybody. I am Kiana Barnes, the official Q Barnes on Facebook and all other social media platforms. I am a clairvoyant medium. I'm an entrepreneur, and I am a cheerleader for life. Like I tell everybody, if you get to know me, I'm going to amplify whatever that goal, that dream is. I know to get to be a little bit pushy and pushing towards your greatness, but I'm a Virgo. I can't help it. That's the disclaimer. That's what's going to happen every single time.
I'm
We
here
live?
for it. I love it.
Mhm.
I love it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just hopping on the page now so we can get it
Make
shared
sure.
out. So give me, yeah.
I'm checking as well to see if I see it's
Okay.
there.
And I was gonna say I'm gonna mute myself just so it doesn't start talking back loud.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and see. Yep, there we are. I see it's
We
what's happening
are,
right
all right,
now.
yep. So I'm hitting the share button, y'all.
Yep.
So if you're live with us, or later on, if you're catching the replay, hop in the comments and tell us what you think for today's discussion. Tell us how it makes you feel. What does it bring up for you? And we're asking that you tag and spread the word, because I promise you, you know somebody who needs to hear what we're talking about. Okay. We all need to be on these healing conversations. So help us spread the word and impart more goodness into these lives with these sex talks.
Yes,
Because
indeed. Yes,
sex is more than
indeed.
just penetration. Like, it's so much deeper. Intimacy is powerful. Power is power, and it is all healing. How about that?
Amen.
So you had a topic you wanted to put on the table today. I'm here for it. Let's go.
Oh, can we talk about that, honey? We're here for the healing, but one healing that I have found for myself personally to be one that healing within yourself when you know that the thing that you want from the outside is never going to happen. You know, what I mean is reconciling to yourself. I know that in our heart, in our soul, even physically, we feel like we need this thing to happen. It could be something financially that we need to happen. It could be something else materialistically. A lot of times it's we want this person to do or say or be, and healing from that and reconciling that it is what it is. And it is what it is for a reason. It is what it is for my high purpose, for me to learn, whatever the case. But acceptance of that, the healing of that, woo, child.
That's it right there.
Oh, I'm gonna take a sip because y'all know I'm a wine, weed, and crystals, and I'll do.
So what I said when she said the topic, what I said was, oh, so we talking about handling your shit from within when other people won't participate, right?
That part. But you said that, and it made me wonder. Since I am handling my shit and other people won't participate, but it is my shit, do they have to? And why do I feel like I need them to?
That's the whole thing right there too. And I think listen, this is just me. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I think I'm right, but here's where I am. Here's where I am with that. I feel like when people choose to participate in our lives, and that could be family, that could be bestie, that could be business partner, that could be romantic, husband, wife, butt buddy, whoever, when they intentionally choose to participate in our lives and take up space, are they responsible for all of our healing? Absolutely not. We are. But are they also still accountable and responsible for helping to co-create space to support healing for harm that they cause, whether it's intentional or not? Absolutely, yes. I believe they are.
Okay.
Let me give an example of that. Let's say I cheat, right? I'm with my spouse and I cheat. Now, it is not my job to heal him. I can't do that. Only he can heal him. It is, however, my job. Should he forgive me? Should I choose to stay in that relationship? Should he choose to stay in it with me? It is my job to help co-create safe space to rebuild the trust that I have broken. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I use
Yeah.
that example because I see that a lot and I hear that a lot from clients and friends. I see it all over social media. And you're like, well, you chose to stay with him. You got to get over it. Yeah, you do. If you choose to stay, you got to get over it. However, that person has caused harm and they should absolutely want to step up in such a way as to say, I'm going to go above and beyond to help support your healing in this because I know I was part of this. And that could be somebody who lied to you. That could be somebody who hurt your feelings for whatever the case may be. But you get what I'm saying?
Right. So it seems like, what you are saying is when you are the person who is the offender and you are aware that you have hurt, there's an accountability that should be there. Okay.
Yes.
And I agree with you. Absolutely. Being able to take accountable for, I did this thing, whether I intended to or not, because that's another thing. A lot of times the accountability won't come.
Yeah.
And if you're someone who's reconciling that by yourself, if you're the person who has been offended and you're trying to reconcile this, you have to understand the reason you're in that space is because the accountability won't come. And a lot of times the accountability just cannot come because whatever the reasons are, but I absolutely believe that if you are the offender and you are aware of self, because that's a big thing right there, you are aware of self.
Yeah.
You can stop and say, oh, damn it, I did this shit. This is my stuff right here. And if you care to help that person in their healing, I did this thing to you. And I need to go work on myself and see why I did that thing to you. Why did I violate your boundaries and your principles and your trust that way?
That too.
But what happens when you don't get it though? Like accountability is not there. So I'm sitting here, I'm not mad because staying mad is like poisoning myself and expecting you to die. So I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
But I gotta reconcile with the fact that this thing was done and you don't give a damn.
That too. And I'm gonna throw this out here because sometimes I get mad, right? My partner always tells me I hold grudges. I probably do. Not even gonna lie about that. I mean, it is what it is. Right?
See, look, accountability.
I own it.
Okay.
But I also say it's not that I hold grudges. I simply choose to forgive so that I can be free, but I don't forget, right? I allow myself to be free enough to choose whether I want to be in the friendship or the relationship with whatever the issue may be. I'll forgive you if I decide to, but I'm not forgetting. I'm going to allow you to show me that I can trust you again. It just doesn't get wiped from my memory, right? And that another example, I remember years ago in a friendship, I had a friend that shared some confidential information with someone. And I think it was about my business. I don't know. I no idea what it was about. But when I found out, we had a conversation and I really genuinely loved her. She was one of my best friends at the time and had been for years. And I genuinely loved her like a sister. And I said, okay, I choose to forgive you, but I won't forget this right now. You don't get the same level of access to me right now because you're going to have to prove to me that you can become trustworthy again. You know what I'm saying? And so it took time for me to see her consistency of minding her fucking business and minding her boundaries for me to decide like, okay, I can let you get a tad bit close to see, were we ever able to get back to that best friend capacity? And over time, she did get a little bit more access to me, but we never got back to that best friend place again, right? Because I just wanted to give her that, And so the other thing I want to throw out is if we choose to be in relationship with people that have certain hurts, because the hurt may have occurred well before we come into the picture, right?
Right.
I still say we are not accountable for healing other people. Whoever that hurt person is have to do their work. But if we choose to be in relationship with them, friendship, romantic, whatever, are we accountable for still helping to co-create safe space where they feel safe enough to heal? Because we're occupying part of their space,
I
you
think
know?
we should though, because if
Yeah.
I connect with you and I like you and I just connected and girl, you know our story. I connected and then boom and stuff came out. And you are not responsible for my healing, right? Of course not.
Yeah.
But you also recognize that in our connection, you save space for if that pour out needs to happen. So I do believe if you're taking up someone's space, if they are sharing energy and they feel comfortable enough to be truly and genuinely authentic with who they are
Yeah.
in their healing, then I think if you love a person, then yes, that you absolutely take that on.
I
And
agree.
understand that it is not a one-way street. It is an infinite circle, an infinite flow, because I just like you save space for me, I save space for you, and we drink from each other as we flow over. And yeah, again, and in creating that, it gets us to the point where you'll feel comfortable enough, just girl, you ain't doing the work. If I'm not doing the work, you'll call me out of my shit. You'll be 100% real. And I'll know that it's from a place of love.
Yeah, I agree. I think
Yeah.
that is the test of true friendship and true respect for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people will want to be in your life just to benefit from whatever you're giving. They don't give a fuck if you hurt or not. They want
Right.
whatever benefit they are gaining from being in close proximity to you. But I
Right.
think that is the test of true love, honor, and respect in friendship and relationship. If I am going to take up space in your life and allow you to take up space in mine, then for whatever the duration of our relationship, whether it be 3 months, 6 months, 20 years, my
Mm-hmm.
hope is that you leave my experience better than how you came to me, right?
Mm.
And my hope is that I'm going to leave my experience with you better than how I connected with you. And that can be through safe space to listen or allow somebody to vent or process. That can be through affirmation. And girl, listen, I'm like the best hype buddy. You understand? I'm like the best hype buddy and wing person. That can,
Yeah.
that can,
That's why we connected, because I am the
you know,
cheerleader, honey. I am the
yeah.
cheerleader.
And that, but it can also be like you said through accountability. So listen, girl, listen, you fucking up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love you enough to be real with you. I genuinely believe that we should be willing to give that again. Disclaimer for y'all people that like to hop step and be like, oh, we can't make nobody. No, we can't make anybody do anything that they don't
No,
want to do.
no.
But if we're going to choose to take up space with people and bring our energies together, why wouldn't we want to have that that innate benefit for one another, right? And this is well beyond
Right.
romance. This is relationship, period.
Yeah, it's like, why are you there if I can't trust you with who I am authentically? I
Mm-hmm.
don't even understand putting the energy behind connecting with people.
Mm-hmm.
And now, of course, let me say it, you don't connect with everybody at the same levels, right? There are
That's true.
people that everybody has their purpose. There
Mm-hmm.
are people who business wise that I may connect with, and that's their lane. And they're not going to have as much intimacy as I may with you. You and I have connected not only on business, but in sistership. So, of course, understanding the nature of the relationship. But even still, when someone is healing, like, okay, like even with my business ventures, they may not know the depths of everything, but they are aware. And my goodness, it's part of the human experience. Can we just be human and be real? We all go through this and we need the support.
Yeah.
We really
I'm
do.
with you.
I am. So going back to our original topic, because girl, we be going this way, that way, and the third. The reason the topic came to me is that I have in 2023 has been a woof. What the hell is going on for me? But
Yeah.
I have had to reconcile that there's a lot of things that I may feel should be said or should be accounted for or should have been, and it's just not going to.
Mm.
And it doesn't even matter if I reach out, because I have. There have been times where it's like, well, maybe I should reach out. Well, maybe I should connect. And I was like, why should I extend myself?
Yeah.
Why should I extend myself? Because I feel like, hey, these things need to be discussed. And the other party may feel like, I don't want to do that. Or I only want to do it under these certain conditions. and you realize, no, that's toxic. That's why I don't want to. And I'm aware that if this really mattered to you, because I know your behavior, I know how you act when something matters versus, you reconcile that I'm just not going to get this thing. I'm just not going to get this thing. And that's fine, because you get to your superpower, acceptance.
Yeah.
But the work involved in getting to acceptance,
That's a whole challenge. Listen, that shit feel like
something else.
doing a triathlon sometimes.
It's something else. It's being outside screaming.
Yeah.
It's being outside screaming. It's going on walks in the park. Is looking like you are absolutely insane. But what I have learned from myself in going through that, I've been able to look at myself and see, okay, well, there's accountability on my part, because that part where you say, well, why did you stay? Well, why did you? Sometimes it's not as easy, because people have feelings. We're humans, right? We operate on those. It's not as easy. Salud.
Thank you. I was like, oh.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not as easy to just be like, I'm just going to walk away. For example, take in the matter of divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Divorce is a big one where people will say, well, why didn't you just leave? Well, why didn't you just leave? Well, why didn't you just leave? And it's like, well, why can't you see that there may have been teens or 20s of years put in, and there may be children who are younger who need to be considered emotionally, or there may be, it's not always a why didn't you just leave?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes it's I wanted to leave and I didn't have the capacity to leave. And so I have to emotionally deal with that. And then, so dealing with the fact that a lot of times you just have to make it okay with self so that you can be okay, even if it ain't okay, because you're not getting that okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the whole, for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I'm right, but I think I'm right. I think that's the whole point of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. For me, right? I don't choose forgiveness with things that have hurt me or people that have hurt me because I want them to be okay, or I worry about them feeling better, or I want them to be free. Fuck them and how they feel. You hurt me. Mm-hmm. I choose forgiveness in whatever the circumstance is because I want freedom. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be punishing myself for something that someone else did. Again, that could be a friend lying to me or hurting me or disappointing me or being rejected, for a career opportunity that I wanted. I don't know, whatever. Like I have made that conscious choice probably for the past at least 15 years. That has been my conscious choice to have forgiveness be a daily part of my healing experience. So I'm always looking.
You're saying there's an intention there.
Yeah.
Keep going. Like I'm with you. Keep going.
So for me, I sit with it because, right, I've been on the other side of that spectrum. I've been there where I was so hurt by family members, by my parents, by ex-boyfriends, by friends disappointing me, like whatever random bullshit in life. I've been there where I've been so hurt and disappointed and so angry and so beat down because of the heaviness of all that stuff just sitting. It feels like 1,000-pound gorilla sitting on your back or your chest, It can. And I found myself getting lost in that. And so I was like, okay, clearly this isn't working. I've got to find a better way for my own well-being. And so that's what forgiveness became for me. It was a way for me to embrace freedom. I'm going to take that key to that jail cell and let myself the fuck up out of it. I'm not waiting on anybody else to let me free, right? And so love you. I'm just going to let you love you over there. Yeah, right. Wish you well. Go right, because a lot of people get that twisted. Forgiveness also does not mean access. It is
exactly.
It's your choice. Right? If you forget, you like it, I love it. I have had friends come to me and tell me things their spouses or partners did. And I'm like, okay, you're not mad? Listen, if you want me to help you, I just need to know what tools we're getting and when I need to be ready for an alibi. But aside from that, I got you, right? But aside from that, I don't have the energy to give you to be mad at them for you and you forgive them. And then I'm still over here mad. So you like it. I love it. As
I
long as you
love it.
tell me you good with it, I'm good with it. When you change your mind, you let me know and we're going to hate him or her together. You know,
Hello, hello.
you
I'm
know,
mad. You mad? You not mad? We ain't mad. All
you
right, all
think,
right,
you
all
feel me?
right.
So,
Right,
so yeah, forgiveness is huge for me. And I intention, like it's up here. It's up here just as important as gratitude for me.
right.
Because without it, I would probably
I
be
was
in
just about to
somebody's
go there.
jail cell
Yes,
or dead somewhere. You like,
yes.
no, we're not going there. I'm gonna keep my peace.
Mm-hmm. And you
And
have
I'm,
to, you
you
have to
know,
choose that. Like you said, you have to actually choose that. You have to sit down
hmm
and choose that. Girl, earlier this year, let me tell you something. I had a situation going on. And I mean, when this chair right here, this is my part of my altar where I sit, let me tell you something. That day, I was so mad. I sat down in this chair at about 11 a.m. And I sat here. I didn't sleep. I didn't drink. I didn't eat. I'm not even sure I got up to really go to the bathroom, but I sat here from 11 a.m. till 3 a.m. the next morning, just digging in and figuring out how to forgive up to that point, the stuff that had happened up to that point, so that I
yeah,
would not go to jail, so that I would not, I sat here with all the weight that was on me, honey. And just I had to keep reminding myself, diamonds are created under pressure. Diamonds are created under pressure. Diamonds are created
yeah,
because I'm feeling this crush and I'm feeling this thing that I'm sitting here saying, and I had to tell myself that this is going to pass. This is just a test. And even after this test, I'm going to have to figure out how to forgive.
that,
I'm never going to get the conversation that's necessary, the conversation that makes sense. I'm going to have to figure out how to forgive for me, because if I don't, that thing alone is going to take me out. And that be the crazy part. It's like, it's not the thing that this person does to you that none of that stuff is going to take you out. It's designed for you to take yourself out by holding on to it.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Right. And so
it's
I
like
have to sit
the
there.
old saying. It's like drinking poison trying to kill somebody
It's
else.
like drinking. It's like it really would be equivalent to me to me drinking poison and expecting that offender to die. They not. Right. So what I do, I've had a couple of methods for when I'm hurt. One of my favorite methods for when I'm hurt and I just need to, like whenever I've been really hurt really
Yeah,
bad,
yeah,
like the immediate thing that I do
yeah.
is I go out and I do something nice for somebody else. And
Mm.
I ask spirit, give me something nice to do. It has been times where someone has needed gas and I put gas in their car. There's been times where people have needed groceries, whatever it is, let me bless someone, because that thing right there, let me tell you something. I don't care what you're going through. If you are able to, in the littlest way, bless somebody else, that thing will do something for your soul in that very moment.
Baby,
It
tell
has done
it,
it for me
tell
every
it, tell
single
it,
time.
tell it.
So that's always my go-to, right? In the immediate, and the initial impact. But again, forgiveness is a process. I'm not. You did this thing to me, and I'm gonna go do something so that I don't do something to you. I'm gonna go do something good so I don't do something to you. I'm gonna go do something good before I do something to you. That's gonna take care of that immediate impact. But then I'm gonna sit with that, and I gotta figure out how to forgive. And what I
Yeah.
do, girl, I go reaching for gratitude. What am I grateful for?
Oh,
What am I grateful for? And I
yeah.
will even go digging in the crates of that raggedy ass, whatever it was that I'm mad about, and remember that we weren't, let me be real. We wasn't always at this point. At one point, it's because let's be
You said
honest. I
you
can't
telling
be
it.
offended by someone I give no damns about, right? So
You
I'm
telling
offended because at one point in time, I allowed you into my space and something has gone awry. You smell rotten. So I'm going to even go maybe look and maybe tap into those things that make me feel good, that remind me that at one point, maybe I was crazy enough to think that you were, whatever it was, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to reach for the gratitude. I will even reach for the gratitude in the lesson that is being taught to me in that moment that got me choosing to do something good so I don't do something to you.
First of all, yes to all that. Yes to all. Like, see, this is why I tell people I mind my business
Mm-hmm.
because it's mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is more responsible for my well-being than me.
Amen.
Not
Amen.
in, not my partner, not my
Nope.
friends,
Okay.
nobody. Now they are accountable. I feel that they are accountable in my life for helping to cultivate space where I can heal, as I am accountable for offering the same to them so that we can all thrive together. But I am the sole person responsible for making sure that I do my work. And if I don't do it, I can't be mad at anybody else. And that's why forgiveness is so powerful for me, because again, it's like that gorilla sitting on my chest. And I'm going to either say, get your ass up and leave me be, leave me alone, or I'm gonna let it sit there and suffocate me while everybody else is going on. And the thing that really used to get me, this is what got me.
Tell me, girl, tell me.
Most times the person that we mad at, especially if it's not a person that's then if it's a person that's no longer in our life, most times that person that went on about their business ain't thought two fucks about you. And you're over here miserable, still hurt, still sad, crying your tears, and they out there living their best life. And that's what tends to piss us off more, right? How dare you cheat on me? How dare she cheat on me? And they out there got their best life with somebody else that had a baby, moved on. I hear this all the time, right? How dare they cut me off and got the job I applied for, and now they over there living their best life, and I'm over here still struggling. How dare they lie on me and told so-and-so such and such, and now I'm over here trying to fix it, but they over there. We are pissed because it seems like that person over there doing what they do, don't care, and they really probably don't, right? But we're still hurt. And that's why the responsibility is ours to deal with our own hurt. I like to say, spirit can tap that ass way more than I can. Now, there will be times. Now, there will be times when spirit be like, okay, shawty, we're going to let you handle this. Go on, do what you're going to do. We got you. And then other times, spirit like, nah, baby, take a back seat. We got this. Right? So I'm always tuned into spirit to say, how do we proceed? Is this something I need to be seeking my own justice, or is this something you want to handle? And I know there's some of y'all spiritual holy folks that's going to be like, that ain't right. I'm not asking your permission.
You know they will. You know they will.
I'm not asking y'all permission, right? I'm telling you how I roll, and y'all got to figure out how you roll. And so I always am checking with spirit to see, is this a situation where I get justice, or y'all rolling and I'm taking the back seat? And then we move on with it, right? Because at the end of the day, my peace of mind is priceless. My business is me, and I am priceless. And so it is worth it to me to put in whatever the work is, forgiveness, gratitude, whatever. Because going back to what you said, there are times when I have had gratitude for, thank you, Holy Spirit, for not allowing me to hurt that person.
Hello.
You understand? Because people will play with you when they don't know your capacity. You understand? People will play with you when they don't understand your capacity or your capabilities. And so I'm like, thank you, Holy. I had a client say that to me the other day. She was like, Jasmine, I was just thanking God, because they don't know how close they came to dying. I was like, baby, when I tell you I understand, rage is real. And when you're in a rage-filled state because you are hurt or traumatized, you understand? I believe that any of us are capable of anything in the right circumstances.
That is the absolute truth.
Yeah, okay. I don't care how nice the person is. I don't care how sanctified, Holy Spirit filled, Holy Ghost filled, how much you love Jesus, and whatever peace, mantras you speak. Any of us in the right circumstance are capable of anything. And so there are times when I have just sat in tremendous gratitude, like, you know what? Thank you, God, for saving me from myself, because I would have got me in a world of trouble and been in somebody's jail, and I'm too cute to be in jail. So
Hello. I'm waiting. Listen, let me just, again, y'all, like I said, I'm healing live in front of people because I'm transparent about my story. I am someone who had to learn this year that I was already, the way I showed up not afraid to choose violence when I'm hurt. And it's a type of, I'm not the type of person that sits down about it and thinks about it. It'll just that moment of rage. And I've had moments where that moment of rage, I put hands on people. I put hands on men. I have. And I've had to learn not to do that because I almost had myself in the world of trouble. But rage is so real. And I had to learn that even after I learned the lesson, because I sat down and did something good so I wouldn't do something to them. Even after that, I had to remember that lesson and still learn to forgive, just forgive, because it's going to keep happening if that's who that person is and that's what they want to do, because I can only control me. And so forgive myself for allowing myself to participate up to the point that I did.
Mhm.
Ac-
Yeah,
That right there is acceptance.
that's
And
it.
then forgive them, whether they give a damn or not. And if I'm in this space, you have to accept that not. Forgive them, because that's where my inner light can shine out.
Yeah.
Because it don't even have to matter, because what I learned to do was stop taking it so personal.
Mm.
Because what I realize is these things that are done don't really got nothing to do with me, because you would do that no matter who I be.
You
You,
know,
you can call me Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, Ralph, or Johnny, and you would still do that. You would
you
still
made
do
me
that
think of
because
something.
you would do that because that's who you are. And so, like you said, we get mad because it's how dare this person lock me out, or how dare, and I did this and I did that and I did that. And so what? Your ego is way too big. Right? Because at the
Yeah.
end of the day, what is for me is for me, and you ain't got nothing to do with that.
You
Promise
just
you
made me think of
don't.
something.
Promise you don't. What, boo?
So, did you see the post I just shared? I think it was yesterday or the day before. Somebody
I
basically
go
took
look
a
right
picture.
now. What it say?
Look at it, girl.
What page is on? Because it's
It's
multiple
it's
ones out here.
it's on the J-Bay page.
It's on the J-Bay page. Let me go
The
find
J-Bay
J-Bay.
page.
What J-Bay say? Tell me.
So it's the meme. Somebody took Tupac's picture, Tupac Shakur's picture, and they put on there the people, something about the people that gave up on you never really stood for you or had your back, something like that. I disagree with that.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Let me look at that quote. Can I quote it so they can, because I'm
Do
gonna
it.
share it, right?
Yes.
Anybody that gives up on you was never down with you. Ooh, let me go ahead and share that right now.
I disagree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why. And I thought of it, it came up for me as you were just talking. So my rebuttal to that meme that I shared, I said I disagree with this because sometimes you gotta let people go in order to navigate your own healing, and they can't go with you. And other times people have had to let us go because they're in the navigation of their own healing or whatever their journey is, and we can't participate in that part of it. And so a lot of times we will think
That's true.
yeah, a lot of times somebody will think we're giving up on them, or we have felt like somebody has given up on us. No, sometimes it has been a saving grace. Sometimes that has been spirit intervening. You understand what I'm saying? And saying, listen, we're going to sever these ties because where you're headed together will destroy one of you or both of you. We're going to make you separate. That could be relationships. That could be kids having to go non-contact with their families. That can be besties having to end it, right? And so I was thinking about that as you were talking, because a lot of times we don't heal because we're waiting on somebody else to forgive us. And that person may have given up and washed their hands of it and said, I'm out.
Right.
And so
Right.
we sat in that hurt like, damn, they gave up on me. They weren't never my friend. I told you they didn't have my back. Yeah, they did. But they had enough of you and whatever it was, right?
That's true. That's true.
And we assume they weren't loyal. No, maybe them leaving is the thing that saves you, because now it's forcing you to deal with your hurt. Now
Maybe
it's
they chose
forcing you.
themselves. They chose to love themselves
They
enough
chose
to be
themselves.
like, I don't want to do this
Exactly.
anymore. Okay, I mean, I'm
Exactly.
still gonna share it because
No,
what you
girl,
said,
share
I'm
it.
still, I'm
Yes.
sharing it
Share it.
I mean, I like what was said, but I was thinking from the fact of someone who, okay, I was putting logic to it. All right, my Virgo brain is thinking, if you see somebody's doing some good stuff and you give up on them, then you wasn't down. But you put the frame on that and made it make sense. See?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, like I said, it came up as you were talking, because I was like, bet. Yeah, that's the other part of that. A lot of times we sit and hurt because we're waiting for someone else to support what we're doing because we hurt them. And we're waiting on their forgiveness so we can forgive ourselves and work on our own stuff and heal our own stuff. And that forgiveness may not come from them, right? It may not be that, it may not be that they hurt us. It may be that we hurt them.
Right.
So either way it goes, whether we were the perpetrator or we were the victim in the experience, that and we the ones that were hurt, healing is personal. Accountability is a huge part of the healing journey that a lot of times people forget, or they want to sweep up under the rug.
Right.
And that's
It's
where
like
power comes in.
it's like it's both. It's both. It's
Mhm.
both. Yes, I did that, but there was also this. And a lot of times, what happens in healing, well, I'm speaking for myself, what has happened in my own healing is I've had to remember that it is both.
Yeah.
You know, I may feel like, well, this thing started with this action. But I have to leave room for their starting point may be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's both. It's accountability. It's I did this, and understanding that my accountability is for my responses to the things that they are now offended about.
Yes.
Because this
Yes.
thing has eroded, not because one person was always, I mean, because come on, balance, right? Let's be honest. We may have been our best selves, and that thing might be stellar, but that person might remember that one thing that really just. So yeah, the healing
Mhm.
is ongoing, ever going. It is, and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing when you recognize. Let me keep it personal. It's a beautiful thing for me to recognize healing happening, because
Yeah.
I also recognize elevation happening as well.
Yeah.
And it can't come. Elevation, it just can't come if I'm not willing to sit down and take accountability and to forgive. That's
That
the only
too.
way I'm going to get to the next level. And what you said about this here Tupac thing, what I was thinking when you framed it for me correctly, you're absolutely right, because we have seasons in our lives. And one of the
Yeah.
best analogies that I like to use, that I tell a lot of my friends, I like to use the rocket, the space shuttle. Now, you know what happens when a spaceship takes off, right? Spaceship takes off, the rocket boosters fall off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so there are people in our lives who are purely just boosters, and they, you know, and they was real close at one point. They was right here. We all was on fire together, and then for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, whatever it is, them boosters fall off, and when that happens, all you can do is wish them well on their journey, because boosters don't, they circling around the atmosphere somewhere, you
Yeah.
know, doing what they do, and you go on and do what you do.
Absolutely.
You just
Absolutely.
have to thank God, thank Spirit, thank Universe. Listen, I call it God, Spirit, Universe. Let me just put it out there. Don't
Yeah.
come for me, religious folks. God, Spirit, Universe, that's where I'm at. Don't come for me. Do not come for me. Don't come for me. Please don't.
Y'all heard
Because
her. Don't come for her.
don't come for me, because I'm a Virgo. And just leave me alone. For real. So I think, you know, I whenever I recognize that those things that happen, I
Mm-hmm.
bid farewell and thank you for the lessons, thank you for the journey, and I'm
Yeah.
okay. And I also accept the fact that there are seasons, and some people are for one season, some people are there for several, some people come back around when it's
Yeah.
time for you to rekindle, you know, but forgiveness is what
Yeah.
allows these things to happen. I have honestly seen, and this is just not only just being a spiritual person, but just being a human being. I have seen more people transition out of this life early from unforgiveness than anything else.
Mm.
And I say that because you manifest that which you were feeling. This is a law of the universe. It's out there. And if
Mm-hmm.
unforgiveness, that's a feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't feel good at all. It hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. And one of my passions about this panel is that being able to get out the word about how healing and feeling, how these things manifest in the natural body, because they do. That's why I don't know what your nausea feels like, but I've been told, I know my mind feels like a nervous thing or whatever. A lot of times I've been told by people before they throw up, there's a feeling of nervousness and uneasiness, and then it manifests as something needing to come out. That thing, unforgiveness, that is a feeling that kills. I've seen
I
more
agree.
myocardial infractions that I know. Okay, that's a heart attack for people that don't know. And no, I'm not a medical person. I just read a lot of journals after my mother transitioned because I was obsessed. But there have been more myocardial infractions, people that have had heartbreak because of the feeling.
Yeah. Well, that's a real thing, dying of a broken heart.
It
You
is.
know?
It is. It is. So once we can start making the connection between our feelings and our physical body, we will understand why the journey of self-healing is so important. Like I can't make anybody else responsible for that healing. I got to get that for myself, whether they're accountable or not. I'm going to have to reconcile that whether they're accountable or not.
Yeah.
And so my process for that, I sit down, I pray, I meditate, and I developed a superpower called acceptance.
Hey. One of the things I love to do, for me, I love fire. I'm a fire sign. I'm fire all the way through, right? And so, I love fire, and that's one of the reasons I'm drawn to ritual as well. So one of the main things that I do for me, in my healing journey now, and in my forgiveness work especially, is I like to burn it. I don't write a lot, just because of, challenges with my hands, dealing with fibromyalgia, carpal tunnel, different things. So I don't write a lot. And people say, well, I don't write, I don't journal. Figure it out, boo boo kitty. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. So for me, I record it, right? I have an app on my phone that transcribes, right? And so I go in there, click the little microphone button, talk it out. I get out on the walking trails a lot of the times, because I know typically I'm out there for about 2-3 hours when I'm out there. So that's my time to just record it, let it all out. Then I grab that transcription and print it out when I get home, and I burn it. And that is cathartic for me. It's a release. It's a sacrificial offering. It's energy for me to give back to spirit. It's ritual, right? So I take myself through that tangible process of verbally releasing it, pushing it all out, and then saying, okay, spirit, I'm giving this back to you because I can't do anything with this anymore. I've hit my limit. I'm over it. I want to be free from this. And so I give it back in that way. You can also bury it. That was another fave of mine. For quite a few years. I would just be, when I was still writing a lot, I would just take it and write it, or I would type it, and then I would print it, and I just fold it up really small, dig a little hole in my yard, and bury it, and just give it back to the earth. I am saying goodbye to these things. So those are two of the things that I genuinely love. And here's an exercise for you guys. If you are struggling to feel or discern what unforgiveness can feel like, the weight of it. I came up with this has been a long time. Because I had a guy client who was he was struggling to figure out what that looked like for him, to figure out the concept of how does this feel. So that's okay, no problem. He was an athletic guy, said, bet, got you. I want you to grab every bag in your house. This is back when I still, did a lot of in-person work. I want you to grab every bag in your house. So he went and grabbed suitcases, duffel bags, backpacks, everything. And we loaded them up, baby. They had soup cans, water bottles, clothes. Like, we loaded them up till all of them were full.
Right.
Put your backpack on, duffel bags on your shoulders, pick up your suitcases. He said, okay, what we finna do? I said, you finna stand there. He was like, well, wait.
He's like, what you mean? What we doing?
Right. I said, you go stand there. Now, let me put this disclaimer out there. Do not do this at home and hurt yourself and say, I told you to do it. Proceed with caution only if you know that you are physically able to do so safely. Okay. Now, that being said, so he stood there. I said, I want you to hold it as long as you can. So we sat there, we talked. He like, okay, I'm getting a little tired now, Jasmine. I was like, okay. We sat there, we talked a little. Well, I sat there, he stood there. We talked a little bit more. He said, this is getting heavy. We talked a little bit more. And he was like, well, wait, how long I gotta hold this? I said, I don't know. We talked a little bit more. And he was like, can I put it down? I said, I don't know, can you? And he was like, well, you told me to pick it up. I said, but yeah, I don't have the right to tell you to keep it or put it down. And he was like, oh my God.
Wow.
And for y'all that are still trying to put that together, the weight represented all the things that we go through life picking up and holding on to.
Wow.
And it is our choice how we decide to either hold on to it and make it normal. We normalize the pain, the discomfort, the hurt, the wounding. Or we can go through the process to release those things that don't belong to us or that no longer serve us. We can go through the process to release and heal. And so
Mhm.
finally he realized that. He was like, oh shit. And he put it all down. I said, you feel better, don't you? He was like, yeah. I said, that is what it feels like when we are holding on to bondage and baggage emotionally and mentally and physically.
Mhm.
And we have to remember, here's where the power in sex intimacy power comes from. We have to remember that we always have the power to make change in our life. We cannot control other people
At
at
all.
all.
At all.
But we do have control in how we choose to receive information and how we choose to respond to it, how
Yeah,
we
we do.
perceive people's actions and how we respond to it. So
Yep.
if you, I'm using the cheating example again, because that has been coming up a lot in the past, I want to say 2 years with
Mhm.
clients. And I've had this question over and over. Well, what do you think I should do? I don't know what you should do. I advocate for you to do whatever your mind, body, heart, and soul wants. If that is to stay with that person and love them, go to therapy, work it out. If it is
Mhm.
to not be with them, let them go. If you
Mhm.
cannot forgive them, let them go. If you cannot forgive yourself, let them
Let
go.
them
But
go.
if you're going to choose to be in it, work through it, right?
Mhm.
If you, I deal with a lot of families too when it comes to property. I deal with a lot of families, siblings or family members are arguing because mom died, dad died, whoever died and left the property. And now everybody's fighting over who gets what, right?
Mhm.
And it's the same situation. Y'all gonna either figure it out and work together to honor the person who left it to you, or y'all gonna sit here and act like hyenas in the desert who ain't ate in 20 years. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like you all have a choice in how you proceed in this. And at the
Mhm.
end of the day, it all comes back to self, which is where we started.
Mm. Right in here. Right in
Mm-hmm.
here. Right in
Because
here.
people, they're going to be who they're going to be, and life is going to life. But we have a choice in how we respond to it and how we allow ourselves to take action to it. And whether that action is going to contribute to our pain or contribute to our growth and our healing. You know what I'm saying?
Ashe, sis. Ashe. Oh, that's some good stuff you talking right there. I listen. Look at you. You telling the truth. You telling the truth. You always telling the truth to you,
Yeah,
to you,
I
to
know a
you.
little some, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's been dope. Are we over? Yeah, I think we just about cut our time because we will be here all day.
Yes.
We will
If
be here
you
all day, all day.
if you had to tell them one thing, because I like to end my podcast that way too. If you had to tell them one thing from what we talked about today, because we gave them a lot to chew on. You know what I'm saying? Healing is work, healing is process, but healing is also joy, laughter, fun, all the things. This is a fucking roller coaster ride.
It
But
is.
in all of that, if you gave them one thing, what would you challenge them to do today to nurture their healing or step back into their power?
To step back into your power, I would challenge you to, from this moment forward, choose gratitude in everything. I would challenge you to, no matter what it looks like, and I'm sure there's somebody on here that's thinking, you crazy, you don't know what's going on with me right now. Is this, that, and the third? I can't find nothing to be grateful about, but you breathing right now. Because the reality is we have the choice to forgive. We have the choice to develop the superpower of acceptance, but it actually starts with that little bit of mustard seed of gratitude. So find something to be grateful about and just build on there and watch what happens. That's my takeaway from today. That is my takeaway from today.
So I feel like, well, I'm gonna give y'all my one thing, but before I do that, I feel like we need to add that to our topic list because
Okay.
this has actually been coming up in conversation. Toxic positivity. Yeah.
The Virgo
You're,
brain is not comprehending
you're
how
like,
these things
wait, what?
are. Toxic
Yes.
positivity.
Toxic positivity. Now, don't get me
All
wrong,
right, sis,
y'all.
let's talk about it. I'm sure you're going to define it for me later because I
Yes.
don't know what that is.
Don't get
Okay.
me wrong, because y'all know I'm all about the whole gratitude thing. I am here for it. Hell, my self-love journal is literally wrapped around gratitude. So y'all know I'm always for the gratitude for the win. But I love that spirit weave that in there, because literally that's been a part of my conversation for the past 2 weeks with different people, is toxic positivity and how dangerous that can be. And I'm like, ooh, that's a great introduction to
So
bring
we're
that
going to
into
talk
it.
about that in 2 weeks since you on your 2 week tip. We're going to talk about that in 2 weeks because I'm curious now. I got to know because I ain't
Okay,
never
well,
heard such a
we still
conundrum
got
in
a
my
few
life.
minutes.
Oh, we do?
We still got a few minutes. Yeah, we only
Oh,
in
okay.
49
Because
minutes,
I
so
thought
let's
you
go.
was telling me like, I'm like, well, tell me, well, what is that?
So toxic positivity can be a dangerous thing because
It
like
sounds dangerous. It sounds
it
something that
sounds
look like
dangerous.
it's good, but it's not. It's like a poisonous
Right.
lollipop.
Like toxic positivity can be that thing that's a seductress, right? It'll be like, come here, boo, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you find yourself lost into it, you're being wounded because you're not giving safe space for all the different expressions of yourself or all the different layers of yourself, right? So it has come up recently because I feel like it's a big thing in our community of spiritualists and holistic practitioners, wellness practitioners, metaphysical practitioners, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody preaches gratitude, right? There's all exactly what you said. There's always something to be grateful for. Now, I agree wholeheartedly. Gratitude has probably saved my life many, many times from spiraling just in the heartache of life itself. Life is heartbreaking when you lose people you love, tragedy happens. Like, gratitude has saved my life. It saved my sanity. You understand?
Right, right.
So I advocate for gratitude. However, what can end up happening is that some people, because emotions run a spectrum, feelings run a spectrum, and all of us through our life should be moving across that spectrum to allow ourselves to feel the different things that we need
Okay.
to express. But if you stop right here, let's say this is gratitude. If you stop right here, but you never allow yourself to move through the spectrum or that range of emotion, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
That would be like putting somebody in a car and putting a brick on the gas to say they can only go 100 miles an hour. They can't stop. They can't slow down. How do they navigate those fast turns? How do they go uphill and then go back downhill safely? You get what I'm saying? At
Well,
some
but
point,
the thing,
that's
yeah, I
dangerous.
understand what you mean. But just having, in my personal opinion and in agreement with that, is having gratitude is not the absence of true emotion as well.
Boom. That's
I
it.
could be, because listen, I'll be honest. I feel all kinds of ways about stuff that's been happening in my life, which we'll get into later. But I'm grateful at the same time for the things that I had to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds like we're talking about the misconception that gratitude means you can't still feel what you feel.
That
Because
exactly.
yes, you can. Because yes,
Exactly.
you can.
Exactly.
You
That's
know,
why I
me
called it
neither.
that's toxic positivity, right?
Okay.
Because
Okay.
like I said, and just for a visual, because I'm visual, y'all. So again, if you have this spectrum, if we are meant to experience across this spectrum, but you stop it and you glue it right here, what happens to all this stuff right here?
It
What
gets
happens
backed
to
up
all
and
this
it's
stuff?
gonna come out eventually, and did you watch The Simpsons? Did you ever watch The Simpsons?
I did watch The Simpsons. What?
Do you remember that episode when Ned Flanders finally lost his crap because he was always so dong dilly dong 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 dong? Remember when he finally lost his crap and spazzed out?
Yeah, see what I'm talking about? That's
Yes.
exactly
Or
what I'm talking
what
about.
was that Adam Sandler film, Me, Myself, and Irene? And he was always the nice
Oh,
sheriff,
yes.
and then he lost it.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like what happened if you do.
Yes. Or there
Y'all
was
need to
another
move it.
movie. What was that with Jim Carrey? Yes, man. Y'all,
Yes.
or was it Jim
Wait,
Carrey? It was somebody.
Jim Carrey was Me, Myself, and Irene too.
Shit.
That's what
It was somebody a yes man. But yes, both
okay.
of those movies.
Oh
But
my
yes, both
goodness.
of those movies.
That's what
And then,
happens. That's what happens. They're gonna lose it.
yes. And then, like I say, imagine you just, hey, somebody get you this gorgeous car. Like you can have it, it's yours, but you can only go at 100 miles an hour. Well, that's great if you're on a straight road and there's nothing else around you. But what happens when you need to exit off and take a detour and go experience something or go through, let's say you want to go shopping. You know what I'm saying? It's great when you got that engine revved up and you're trying to get uphill. But what happens when you're now going downhill? Right? What happens when there's a sharp curve? Your ass gonna end up in the side of a mountain in a ditch somewhere dead because you couldn't slow down. You're going too fast.
Right.
You had one speed. So it's the same thing with our emotions. If we sit right here and we never allow ourselves across the spectrum to feel that anger, to feel that rage, to feel that sadness, to feel the humiliation, to feel the rejection, to feel the joy, to feel the peace, to feel the dis-ease, whatever it is, if we don't allow ourselves to acknowledge those things,
Mm-hmm.
or sit with them and process them to figure out why are they coming up. Emotions show us things about ourselves, who we
They
are.
really do.
They
They do.
reveal what we're experiencing in life, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
if we stop it and be like,
they let us know which way we should be going. They
exactly,
do not,
exactly.
it's like if it feels good, you should be, if you were someone
Mm-hmm.
who is moving from the heart properly, go that way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that you don't pay attention to those things that don't feel good, because those things that don't feel good are there to protect you. They're there to guide you. They're there to let you know I'm going to, whatever the reason. We have,
Mm-hmm.
it's all of those. We have them all. We have them all the feelings. And we're supposed to be
Exactly.
aware of them and understand them, and they help us in our healing journey.
Exactly. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's, like I said, for the past couple of weeks, it's been coming up, and I was like, ooh, because that's what I try to get people to understand is anger should not be feared.
Mm-mm.
Sadness should not be feared, right? Those are normal, natural parts of our human process that show us things that we can give attention to, maybe some extra nurturing that we need, right? Maybe changes that we need to implement in our life. Fear is healthy, it protects us, it can keep us safe, but it can also get perverted and get out of control. And the danger sign is rearing up when the light's green. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
this is why our emotions are key indicators when we're functioning in a healthy, optimal way, or when we're functioning in a we're dysfunctioning in a
Mm-hmm.
unhealthy way, right? But if we don't allow ourselves to feel these things, it's like we're a robot now. I only have one setting. And if I'm
Right.
outside of that setting, then something is wrong. This is what a lot of people end up trying to use gratitude to teach people. And that's so dangerous.
Yeah, because
That is so dangerous.
gratitude is not meant to be used in exception of. It's meant to be used in
With,
conjunction and in addition to.
yeah. That's why when you brought it up, I was like, it was like a it was like a perfect segue. And so thank you for going down this rabbit hole with me because
I'm all, you know me, I'm gonna jump down there every time, but no
damn,
parachute. Let's go. You know
let's
me, I'm
go.
ready. Where we going
Let's
next,
go.
sis? Where we going
Yes.
next?
What are we doing? What are we doing? But yeah,
Yeah.
it's that's the healing journey, right? I think that's the beauty of the healing journey. And sometimes it doesn't feel beautiful, sometimes it's not pretty. But that is the beauty of the healing journey is it is those roller coaster moments and those twists and turns and those ups and downs because that's how we discover ourselves. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? That's how we make changes in our life. That's how we move away from things that are hurtful and move toward things that feel good and leave
Mm-hmm.
bad situations and people alone and find better situations and better people, right? We check in with our emotions, we check in with how we're feeling, we process, we work through. Hell, if we're the problem, it can show us so that we can
Hello.
be better. You know
Hello.
what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
again, guys, gratitude, again, I'm always here for it, rocking with it. But as you said, it's not the absence of any other experience or emotion. It's in conjunction or connection with. Gratitude can work with your other emotions to help you. I
Mm-hmm.
believe you sit with it, feel how you feel. And that may be a few minutes for some people, that may be a couple of weeks or whatever for other people. Feel what you feel. Allow yourself to be messy, human, chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you're working through that, those emotions pave the way for you to get to that place of joy, peace, ease. Because that toxic positivity could be like somebody getting their ass beat in an abusive relationship. And then somebody comes along and says, oh, sis, don't be mad. I mean, at least he didn't kill you. Be grateful for that. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's real toxic. You sound crazy.
Because
Yeah, let's
I've heard
definitely
people
talk
say
about
that. And
that, because I just,
I'm like, yes, I've heard people say that before. And I'm like, seriously? So that's where we going with it? Okay. Yep.
yeah, we should talk about that.
Right.
We
So
definitely
that's
should
why I'm
talk
like,
about
yeah, we got to start educating people a little bit more on how powerful gratitude can be, but don't
it.
psych yourself out of navigating your human experience.
Put your gratitude in the right space, sis. Put your gratitude in the right space. Don't be grateful for nobody beating your ass. Not never. No, 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 no. We're not
Baby,
gonna do that.
I
We're
heard
gonna be
somebody
grateful for the
say
wisdom
that.
to leave before we end up in jail doing that.
I'm telling you, I heard somebody say that before, and I was like, really? Uh, So that's what you thought was appropriate to say? Uh, okay. Mm-mm.
No.
So with that, I want to share my one thing, and I'm gonna pivot
Okay,
off
yeah,
of
it's your
that
one
since
thing. It's your one thing. With it.
my one thing, I'm gonna pivot off of that since I threw that out there at the end. So my one thing today is I'm gonna challenge y'all to do a gratitude jar. That's an easy way if you feel like you struggle with gratitude, or especially in the moments when you're feeling heavy. And you're like, okay, Jazz, I sat with it, I felt it, but now I'm struggling to shift back to something better. So a gratitude jar is an easy way to prepare yourself. Because all of us have those moments in life where shit is just fucked up and it ain't pretty, right? Get you a cute little mason jar, decorative box, shadow box. I don't care, shoe box. It could be an old Amazon box. Float your boat. Do what makes sense for you. Get you a box and get you paper. You could do index cards. You could do blank paper. Doesn't matter. Write things that you're grateful for. Fold them up, pop them in your gratitude jar or your gratitude box. Make it a game with your kids if you have kids, or your spouse if you are booed up, right? Or do it by yourself. Don't matter. Get your besties and have a gratitude party. I don't care. But the goal is fill it up, and you may not get it filled up overnight, right? But every day, take the minute to write 2 or 3 things, pop them in there. And so what happens eventually, you've got this jar or this box full of little love notes for yourself, for your life, grateful moments. And when life inevitably shows its ass and you're feeling stuck and you're struggling to go through that range of emotions to find the good or find your joy or find your peace and your ease, now you go splunking through your gratitude jar, right? It's like those people that deep dive and find the little caves and everything be so beautiful up under the water, splunking or whatever they call it, right? Now you're spelunking in your gratitude jar, and you can pull out 1, you can pull out 5. I don't know, make it make sense for yourself. But that's an easy way to give yourself time to feel what you feel. And then if you're struggling, again, pull out your gratitude jar. So that's my one thing. That's my challenge for you all
I like
today.
that. I like that. That's dope. That's
That's
dope.
my challenge. What you got coming up on the calendar that we need to tell the peoples about?
Well, let's see. There is a grocery store opening that we are expecting to have happen finally within this quarter. I do not have the exact dates. And I know people have been asking, when's the store open? When's the store? Listen, delay is not denied. These things are not as easy as build it and open it. There's a whole lot that goes in the back. My team has been on point. I just want to give a shout out to the Market Fresh Gourmet family. I love y'all and all the work that y'all are doing. So it's the third quarter. We're hoping that that's going to happen. And then very soon, we got these wine, weed, and crystal events that are going to be popping off. I've had some people reach out to me asking, am I still working and offering readings? Of course I am. Reach out to me to inbox. And then I'm looking forward to talking to you and doing this again in 2 weeks because, girl, listen, I just love this space. I really, really, really do just love this space.
I am here for this. So what do we have coming up on the Healing One calendar? As you know, we are rolling out the Soul Nourishing Course of Mentorship. We made a massive change, and I am so excited about that. So if at first it was set up with cohort, you could only join when I was launching a new cohort. And now we're creating it into a rolling basis where you can literally come and join us because we'll have a new module. We'll have a module every month. So you can literally come join us. You don't have to wait. I'm so fucking excited about
Congratulations.
that.
Congratulations.
Yes. My students out here kicking ass. I'm proud. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. We tried it. We tested it for the last 2 years. It works. They are amazing. So now we are opening it back up for newbies to come in and join us and get this work, honey, learn these skills and be out here helping heal the world. So we have that. You can see more information about that pretty much all over my social media. So anywhere that you're connected to me. And what else? Yes, we'll be back here in 2 weeks. And if you need a little help, we're going to pop the links because we got journals, y'all. We got the self-love journal. We got the 40-day journey of self-akasha journal. We got the 12-week money mindset journal. So if y'all need a little help in your healing journey, brush yourself off and get a journal and go to work on it, boo. Okay. So I'll make sure that we share those links. And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Hey, y'all go on and be amazing and manifest it all.
Bye, booze.
Bye, boo.